So the opposition is escalating this conversation so that they can use it to show how these are really bad people. Then, of course, within government, there are people who want to run away from this and make sure it doesn't stick to them, especially the Mount Kenya government, the people from Mount Kenya who are in government. And that's how you now start hearing the kind of threats and what do you call them? Deadlines being given that if you don't get out,
48
we
hours.
are leaving. Also because this is something very difficult to sell in Mount Kenya, that you're working with a guy who said what he said. But then there's also a much deeper conversation we need to be having. It's said that from the heart, the mouth speaks. Right? There was no provocation to that conversation. So there's somewhere it came from. And I think that's now what we need to have a conversation about. Was this an isolated case? Or is this... there are people who are clapping. So yes, we can tell the person who said it to say sorry, but there are people who engaged with his thought and found it to be attractive.
Yes.
And to be something... Because you say he didn't apologize then. Nobody stopped him at that moment. He apologized later when there was a backlash from somewhere else. So where he was speaking at, and within the within the environment he was speaking, the people he was speaking to, people around him, they didn't see it as bad as we saw it later. So what does that mean? You know, I have heard him try to explain. In fact, his apology wasn't really an apology. It was an explanation. You know, the way you say something and then people tell you, no, that came out bad. You say, no, that's not what I meant. This is what I meant. So it's really not an apology. It was the sense of, this is what I meant. But in case you misunderstood me, I am sorry.
But he also went out yesterday, additionally, and said, well, I was referring to one person.
Exactly.
He came out and said very clearly, this is the person that I was referring to. But again, I'm just saying sorry in case,
yes, that's
any
what
of
I'm
this
saying. It was a clarification.
Else.
It wasn't an apology. It's that I meant those bad things you think I said, I didn't say them about you. I said them about her.
Yeah.
It's like, it is okay to say certain bad things about a particular person. But not about another person. And the problem is that once you say it, you can't choose how I interpret it. You said it.
Yeah.
My interpretation is mine.
True.
You might have meant to talk about Uhuru, for example, but me, I chose to interpret it to mean anybody like Uhuru. Anybody who has property, anybody who has land. So why would you say it? As a leader, why would you open that door? Because now closing it has become very difficult.
Do you think he was speaking for himself?
Hassan comes from the coastal area, and the issue of land is a highly emotive political conversation. And I think because it's still a story that he might be running for office in 2027, he was picking a hot potato issue in the region and using it as ammunition and throwing it first before anybody else.
But he's not stupid. He's not stupid. This is a lawyer. This is the man who's worked with Kenya National Human Rights Commission. He's been a senator. He's very intelligent.
He knew exactly.
He must have known exactly what he was doing. And then to come and apologize for it later, then you want to ask a couple of questions.
He knew exactly what he was doing. And he also knew that once you throw it out, an apology doesn't take it away. Words said cannot be unsaid. You can apologize, you can explain, you will never be able to pull back those words. And you see the words had the reaction it was required. You had Uhuru on Monday responding to it, and maybe that was the idea. Put him in a place where you put him in the defense, and now he has to come out, because I don't know whether Uhuru would have come out if that comment had not been made. Because it was a multi-level attack. As you said, there's a community that feels that it was attacked, which is Mount Kenya region, which I come from. And it's a dangerous thing for us to hear that kind of conversation, because we know, and as Uhuru said, we know where this goes. But then there's also Uhuru himself, who has interests in what it is that was being said. And who must have felt now threatened, especially coming from somebody in a government that doesn't think is friendly to him. So he must have been wondering, okay, where are you guys going with this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ngunjiri, I want to look at it because we can't say that Hassan didn't know what he was saying. He knew exactly what he was saying.
So I said that was not an apology.
And we've seen,
explanation.
Yeah, and you've seen others. You call them opportunistic reactionists. Let me call them that, right? But we are not seeing opportunistic reactions from agencies that are mandated to deal with this. Well, why? You talk about NCIC. UDA as a party in terms of reprimanding its own, and calling him out as a party. You talk about DCI, nothing from these agencies. And from where Kenyans sit, they are looking at it as this person belongs to a party that has formed a government, and all the other government agencies that is being led by them are silent. So the government knows exactly what was said, the reason why they are silent. Are Kenyans right in thinking that way?
I think, first, give credit where it's due. I saw something by NCS